everyone, I'm back. It's Megan. I'm here today to talk about the fantasy tag for the Geek Girl Pen Pals. If you didn't know, this month the theme is fantasy, so be sure to head over to the site to check out all kinds of fun different stuff related to that theme. But today we're talking about the fantasy tag. Hopefully you watched Magic Cat Jenny's video. The first question, what is your favorite fantasy realm? Tough one. I kind of went back and forth between Wonderland and Azeroth. I don't know which one I would take the cake. Maybe Azeroth, since it seems to be more fully realized than Wonderland, although that's kind of the beauty of Wonderland. Your imagination can make anything happen there. Big, small, smoking caterpillars. I'm a big Alice fan, if you didn't know already. Second question, what's your favorite fantasy book or series? So this is a tough one, depending on what type of fantasy genre you go with. I love the high fantasy, Middle Earth, all that good stuff, but I tend to really love urban paranormal fantasy, and my absolute favorite book series is Ilona Andrews' Kate Daniels series. It's just got such an amazing world building setup. It's set in Atlanta, but it's in a time where magic and technology are kind of at odds with each other, and so magic has been eating the buildings and creating strange creatures, and technology only works now and then. It's a great series. You should really check it out, and you will love the characters. Third question is, what's your favorite type of fantasy? So we were just talking about that briefly with the book series relation. So I kind of probably got to give it to the paranormal urban fantasy stuff. I just tend to love those types of books. Although you gotta love high fantasy or anything that kind of is based on a mythological basis. I love Kevin Heron's Iron Druid Chronicles. If the Morrigan's involved, I'm so in. Favorite fantasy film? Like Jenny, I'm a big fan of Labyrinth. How can you not love David Bowie and his wonderful, glorious hair and eyeliner and the bulge and everything else? But I love Legend. It's not a great movie, has some flaws, but I love it not because of Tom Cruise in that short skirt, but because of Lily in that dark black dress. And of course, darkness. How can you not love darkness? Can we just take a moment and talk about the genius that is Tim Curry for a second in all of his many roles? I mean, who doesn't love Clue or Rocky Horror Picture? Anyway, getting sidetracked. Back to fantasy. Favorite fantasy show? So Buffy was definitely my gateway into so many different geeky and nerdy things. But when it comes to fantasy, I really think, Supernatural, although admittedly I only watched the first 5 seasons because I got burned by Buffy, so I went and ended with the creator's plan with the 5. But, yeah, and then of course magic, if we're talking fantasy and magic. Constantine, which it's like my new Veronica Mars, still really upset that it got canceled. Matt Ryan was absolutely wonderful as Constantine. Loved seeing him on Arrow. Want to see him as Constantine so much more. Favorite fantasy game? Final Fantasy. I mean, it's fantasy's right in the title, right? So you can't go wrong. Final Fantasy 13 was actually the first Final Fantasy game that I played. Fell in love with it. Close second, probably Skyrim. Oh, and then, of course, World of Warcraft. I mean, if Azeroth is one of my favorite fantasy realms, probably got to give it to that, too, for favorite game. Admittedly, I haven't played for a long time. I was definitely addicted, and I have tried to correct that addiction. So we've been taking a break from World of Warcraft. Favorite fantasy comic? Well, you just heard me talking about Constantine, so obviously, gotta love Hellblazer. Followed closely by Lucifer. Just the worlds, the imagination, but if we're going to talk about Constantine and Lucifer, you got to even bring it back more to Neil Gaiman's Sandman. That just blew me away. It's an amazing tale, and obviously introduced Lucifer. Got his own television show now too, although it's not blonde, which there was definitely a callback to in the show, which is fantastic. So that's it for me with this fantasy tag. Hopefully you join in, do your own, spend some time over at the Geek Girl Pen Pal site checking out the fantasy related stuff this month. Then I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.